Junior Caminero, Jordan, give me the 30-second rundown on this guy.
I mean, we saw him very briefly in the big leagues last year, and this is someone who, let's just remind everyone, sorry, Guardians fans, the Rays acquired Junior Caminero for a pitcher named Tobias Myers, who's actually pitching pretty well, but not for Cleveland. This is when Junior Caminero was in the DSL, and the Rays have they nailed it, right? I mean, they identified a teenage hitter who would very quickly become one of the best prospects in the game. He probably has the best bat speed because he's not a huge guy, but he is producing essentially 80 grade, exit velocities. He's hitting balls 115, 116, 117. And now, because they have traded enough people and are finally ready to kind of turn the chapter, he will be up with Tampa. He is, 20 years or 21. He just turned 21 in July. And we'll see. He's, defense, he'll probably be playing third base. But just as far as guys that I will be wanting to tune in to watch his at-bats, this is absolutely now someone that rockets up that list regardless of the Rays' place in the standings.
The bat speed is ridiculous.
Yeah.
There are aspects of him just offensively that are Javi Baez-y.
Yes.
Is just a way I would describe it.
Yes.
Both with the chase and the bat speed and just even like the way the swing looks. Defensively, though, this dude got way bigger than I remember him. It seems like he is ticketed to play a corner and not a shortstop. You will see shortstop next to his name. I am a little bit skeptical that he will stick there moving forward, especially for a team like Tampa that cares about shortstop defense a lot.
I would say the last thing I would say about Junior Caminero is with the bat speed comes like genres of home runs that you just don't even really, you can't even really comprehend. Like he had some in the Dominican Winter League and even in the minors where you just like the batted ball trajectory and just like the flight path and just like where the angle, like none of it really computes and is only possible if you are able to strike the ball in such a specific, impactful way. And he can do that, and he will be doing that in the big leagues now. And I'm very excited for that.
It reminds me of the home run Javier Baez hit off of Lucas Giolito in the Futures game, which is a homer that is seared into our minds very specifically, but it was just like backside.
Yes.
No doubter. You just don't really see that a whole lot. Last thing on this. The DSL, the Dominican Summer League, is a mystery box in baseball on the public side. Even for nuts like us, we've never watched that before with our eyes. When you're trying to evaluate minor leaguers, it's very hard. When you're trying to evaluate 17-year-old Latin American players playing on essentially a spring training complex in the Dominican Republic, determining which of those players is worth your time and which ones are not is so difficult. The Rays are exceptionally good at this. Usually they put a lot of time and effort into scouting that league, scouting those types of players. And every once in a while, they turn into Junior Caminero. Remember, like, same thing with, this is what Fernando Tatis Jr. was.
Sure.
The difference just was the name because we knew about his dad.
Yeah, and right now is a good time to be talking about that because I've been talking to people recently about this year's crop of DSL players. And you start with like, okay, who got all the money? Right? You start with the players that signed for $1, $2, $3 million, and then, oh, they have good stats. Okay, that guy's probably awesome. And then it's like, hold on a second. Who's this guy that only signed for $500K or $100K, and he has the best numbers in the league? And you don't really know until they get stateside and you get to full season ball. But the whispers about DSL players is one of my just most fun things in the world. Because like another version of that is like Ellie de la Cruz. And I mean, when I wrote about him for the All-Star, he was unremarkable in the DSL. He was not, he was like, okay, projectable, whatever. It was not obvious. Caminero is a little bit different because you talk to scouts that saw him there. I was like, he was pretty freaking good. And I don't really know why Cleveland traded him.
But he only got $250,000, right? Which is a relatively small signing bonus. He only got $225,000. Jordan Alvarez is another guy like this, right? O'Neal Cruz, both of them were with the Dodgers and the DSL.
The Cubans are a little different because there's even more mystery involving their development and timeline. But no, that is all fair. Jake, last thing I will say about Junior Caminero, and then we'll say goodbye. Junior Caminero was born on July 5th, 2003. I know Jackson Churio born March 2004. We're getting really used to this. Yet another player younger than the debut album of Avril Lavigne. Yes, Jake, as I wear my Avril Lavigne Greatest Hits Tour t-shirt, all I want to say is it was fantastic. Thanks for asking.